What's up, my ninjas? I'm Strident, and I'm back with another figure review. I know I said I was going to do Blind Master next, but Christmas came a little bit early for me, and you are looking at something that took, I want to say, 3 years for me to get, and that is the Super RHF 01 Faiz and Vajin. Now, I'm a huge Kamen Rider Faiz fan. You know me, form follows function. And if you look at the riders across the years, especially the Heisei era riders, they suck as far as form and function goes, because a lot of them, they're called riders because they're next in line in that franchise. They're not called riders because they actually utilize their bikes. Faiz utilizes his bike. His bike is also his sidekick, and that's what I love about this character. I mean, and granted, in the show, he only used Vajin, the robot mode, only a handful of times, towards the later portion of the series. It's still a very cool idea. I mean, a rider that's steeped in modern technology, and most of it is not even modern, but there is that connection to modern technology, with his cell phone being the key to a lot of his weaponry, you know what I mean? But I had to get this. I saw a review, I think it was Akhtar did a review years ago, and he did the most comprehensive review on this figure, so I got to know, what I was getting into, and if it was even possible to find this. And from his review, I thought it was impossible, because this went out of print in the early 2000s or mid 2000s when the series was on. It just came out and it was done. No more, figures. But I got lucky. I waited and waited, and the figure went from about $200 to 30 in 3 years. It's a long ass time to wait, but I'm not going to complain. One thing about this set is that even though a lot of people at first glance, you'll think this is a cheap figure, it's not. It's not cheaply made. It's well done, very sturdy construction, and on top of it, it's very screen accurate. This is the most screen accurate version of Vajin that you could possibly get until SH Figuarts does one, and I don't think they're going to do it anymore, because it's been years since they said they would, and we haven't seen anything. But I'm loving the figure, the Faiz figure. He's very posable, very sturdy. He comes with all 3 of the basic weapons, and he is Marvel Legends and DCUC size. If you've been watching my reviews, earlier back in the day, I had only the SIC Faiz and Vajin, and they're cool, but they are reimaginings of the character or characters, so they're a little bit more stylized, and they don't look screen accurate. Then I got the SH Figuarts version, which I'm going to have some comparisons for you later on in the vid, but I had the SH Figuarts version, and that one's cool, but they're very fragile. I mean, he's fallen on carpet, and one of the little points on his horn broke, so it kind of pissed me off. And even though they're unparalleled when it comes to posability, it still sucks that they're not as durable as they should be. So I'm so happy to have this. Alright, so here we are with Faiz and Vajin. So I'm going to reiterate a few things I pointed out in the beginning. 3 years I waited for this figure. 3 years. I watched a review by a dude named Akhtar on YouTube, and he did a real good job explaining the ins and outs and all this stuff, because if you remember, I did ask, and someone pointed me in the direction of his review. I asked about collecting, some of these Japanese figures, especially Kamen Riders, mainly Faiz. They told me about SH Figuarts, the Sochak Henshin, SIC, mostly stuff made by Bandai. But anyway, he said this was the most screen accurate version of Vajin, and he kind of didn't seem as amazed at the figure, but he said the figure of Faiz wasn't so bad that comes along with him. So here's the box. You can kind of see that this is an older figure. Pretty package, though, I'll give him that. You can see the wear and the tear around the edges. So, the thing definitely was used, but it wasn't used to the point where I couldn't, enjoy it. It was in good shape. See, everything is in Japanese. I couldn't tell when this figure was made, at least not by looking at the the box, because everything, like I said, is in Japanese. But it is possible that I might be able to find it on the figure. But just, you know, you see him transforming from bike to robot and whatnot. Yeah, and as I'm looking at the figure off camera, it's not on there. But anyway, they did a really good job, kind of, I don't know, with this figure altogether. And I dig Faiz mainly because, like I said, he is steeped in technology. His whole style, everything, his gear, it's all based on modern technology and integrated modern technology, from the cell phone to the, you know, the little pointer, you know, and the CD player looking thing. I just love the way they integrated all that stuff. And they even went further by, you know, designing all the other aspects of his costume, like the photon blood, which is the red lines you see running through the costume. But the whole idea of a rider carrying, you know, a phone that is the key to most of his gear. And that's just, it's brilliant. It makes perfect sense. It's easily concealable. It kind of grounds the idea so that anyone could be like, wow, they could possibly do it. They could do this in real life. Now, if you look at him, you can see on his belt, his phone is there. I'm trying to get it to focus, but it doesn't look like my phone, my camera wants to cooperate. But the phone is there. Like I said, the phone is the centerpiece for most of his gear. They gave him plenty of weapons. The gun, phone mode. He's got his, what was it called? The Faiz shot, which I kept on his back. But as you can see, I have a ton of Faiz figures, and I told you this before. You got the SIC Faiz and Auto Vajin, which was cool, but it's a reimagining. You've got the two SH Figuarts figures. You've got the standard Faiz and the blaster mode. Couldn't find Axle mode because, for some reason, number one, it was a Tamashii Web exclusive. Number two, those things just disappear, and when you do find them, they go for insane prices. But you can see by looking at the SIC version that he is a reimagining, so he's not 100% screen accurate. They amped up that design, and I love it, don't get me wrong. But I hate the fact that the Auto Vajin that goes to him, you have to take him apart and then put him back together to get him into robot mode. Also, look at how big, there's a size difference. And you can see, like I said, the details on one are stylized, the details on the other one are, you know, more screen accurate. But when it comes to the Super RHF version, and you'll see it in a second, he's much bigger. He's like Marvel Legends size. And then the same thing goes for Auto Vajin. He's a huge figure, and he should be huge because he's supposed to be his robot sidekick, essentially. You know, and I dig it. I dig it a lot. I mean, I loved the transformation that the SIC one had, like the way he looked when he was transformed. But this one captures every detail that was in the version I watched on the show. And granted, you only see him in the show for, you know, a couple episodes towards the end. He still was awesome. And I was so happy when I saw this price drop down to $30 because I could afford that. But as you can see, the Smart Brain symbol is there. Smart Brain Motors. What is it? SH. It says RF 555 or something like that. But anyway, comparison in height from SH Figuarts to this Super RHF figure. You can see the SH Figuarts ones is way too small. You know, is out of scale. Whereas the Super RHF version is perfect scale. Note, I had bought a Transformers Generations Wreck-Gar or whatever. I can't remember what the other guy's name was, just so I would have a bike that was in scale for the SH Figuarts version. And it ended up not really looking right because, you know, he's different colors, and I wasn't going to sit there and spray paint that whole thing or dry brush the whole thing silver. It's just too much work. But anyway, seeing them together, it just, man, I was geeking out so hard when I opened this package on Saturday morning after sleeping in. I felt good. It's the first time I got to do this in a long time. Everything's well done on this guy. I mean, his articulation is the thing that it surprised me, because looking at him, he looks like those cheap, you know, Bandai pack-ins that they usually do, you know. But a lot of what you would expect from a high-end Bandai figure is actually here as far as his articulation goes. The only thing he is lacking is most of the core articulation, like in his torso. So he can't lean forward, lean back, all that stuff, but he does have a swivel. And I'm about to get to that in just a second, but I'm going to keep saying this. This is one of those finds that's just so awesome. So in his head, he's got a ball jointed head, so he can kind of look up and down and, you know, back and forth a little. He looks down really well. He looks up decent, you know, but you get the point. It's there. The motion's there. He's got really good swivel and ball socket in his, well, it's not a ball socket, it's a swivel in his arm. And I want you to pay attention to something. Get up close and look at this joint in his shoulder. American companies need to pay attention to that. Look how thick that thing is. It won't break anytime soon. He's got a single bend in his elbow. He's got a ball jointed wrist, and then he's got articulated hands, you know, or fingers. They're all, it's like one joint for all four fingers. As far as his knees, or I'm sorry, his torso, he twists, like I said, it's one swivel there. His legs, he's got a balls jointed hip, and the top portion of the leg, is, you see how it popped off like that? It's made of rubber, but the actual barbell that it connects to is made out of a hard plastic. So this rubbery leg piece just hugs that hard plastic piece, so that when you're having him repeatedly sit down on that bike, it's not going to come off, it's not going to break, it's not going to give over time. Double jointed knees, swivel at the upper thigh, and then he's got a kind of a ball jointed ankle, so you kind of get the pivots in his stance. I mean, that's perfect. I mean, considering I wasn't expecting anything from that figure, because the whole purpose of me buying it was to get Auto Vajin, I am impressed with this figure. And he's made of a heavier kind of plastic, you know, and like I said before, the SH Figure Arts one has all that torso movement, whereas the RHF one has none, but just about everything else is there. So I can actually play with the Super RHF one and have him fight stuff, and me and my son can come up with crazy situations, and he won't break on me. You know, if he falls off a shelf, he's not gonna break on me. Now he has weapon storage for everything. If I shot, you can put it on his back or on his side, because there's a big clip for it. He actually holds it this time. This is the first version I have where you don't swap the hands, you just put it in his hand, which is awesome. He has his pistol, like I showed you before, the phone pistol or whatever, which is awesome, and he holds that really tight despite having a hinged set of fingers. I was surprised about that. And then lastly, he has the Faiz edge. Actually, I shouldn't have said lastly, there's still the pointer. I got to show you guys the pointer, but he has the pointer, as you can see, on his leg, and he has the edge as well. So just about all the core weapons that you saw him use in the show, they're present here. And you can put the pointer on his belt, or you could take it off and you can actually put it on the little cell on his leg, which is awesome because that's his signature move, you know, his rider kick. And you have to have these things. You can't neglect these little details, because this is what makes the character the character. And this is one of those things that I love about collecting, you know, Kamen Riders and such, is that the designers design these figures to mimic what you've seen on television. That's the whole selling point. And they keep on managing to include all the parts you need so you can recreate things that you've seen those characters do. That is why I was so bent on getting an Auto Vajin that actually looked right in motorcycle form, looked screen accurate, and looked screen accurate in mech form, robot form, whatever. But you gotta admit, that is a beautiful bike. I don't ride anymore, but I would if I could get a bike that looked like that. The thing is awesome. I was gonna sit here and show you the transformation, but those things always piss me off, so I figured I'm not gonna do it. Size comparison. Look how big that bike is compared to the SH Figure Arts Faiz. So it's a good thing that this was a 2-pack and it came with a Faiz that was the right size to ride this bike. That would have been a monster in comparison to the SH Figure Arts one. Now, There are other brands like Sochak Henshin. They have other versions of other Kamen Riders that come with their bikes, and sometimes you can switch up, and there's only a slight difference in size from, you know, one rider to the next, or one, you know, SH Figure Arts rider to the, you know, special packaged bike. But I was so I don't know, I'm besides myself with this one, because I mean, this was one of those times where normally I wait, and then I wait, and then I wait, and then I screw up, and I'm like, ugh. But this was something I was looking for because of its accuracy and because of, you know, little details, and it actually worked out for me. Now, one thing I wanted to point out too is that this is screen accurate for the most part, but there are little things missing. I remember Akhtar, he was real hardcore about pointing out that it didn't have the painted silver fingers, because Faiz has silver fingers in the show, and that the chest armor is a little different. Now, when you look at the difference between this and the SH Figure Arts one, yeah, the two Faiz figures are missing details, because even the SH Figure Arts Faiz doesn't have the silver tipped fingers, but it's sculpted, so you can see that there's ribbing on his fingertips. But I don't really, that kind of stuff doesn't bother me when it comes to, you know, picking up a figure. As long as there's fun factor there, as long as it looks for the most part like what I wanted, then I'm happy, you know what I mean? I won't complain. Now, some people get real hardcore about stuff, you know? Some people want the transformation to be exactly like what they saw on television. Some people want the colors to be 100% exactly the same, even though there's no way for us to really, you know, test that besides trying to see what we see on, you know, on the show. But I don't care. For instance, if you look at this Retaliation Flint, that vest is way bigger than the vests that they had in the actual film. In the film, it was like web gear with plates, with reactive impact armor plates hanging off of it. Look at all that extra shit that's on his body. Does it get the point across? Yeah. I mean, does it look cool? Yeah. Can you tell what they're actually trying to emulate? Yeah. So for me, that's cool, you know? So I won't complain too much about that. It does the job, and it does it well. So, you know, with those missing details, like I said, like, you know, he doesn't have his fingers painted, and you're going to make him hold stuff like the handlebars. You're going to rub and rub and rub, and the paint's going to come off anyway. Why bother? Form follows function. And with Faiz, that's his design, with his phone being the center point of a lot of his weaponry, almost everything. And, you know, the fact that his hands aren't painted so that he can actually hold on to stuff, and you don't have to worry about him losing his paint job. It works for me. I'm not going to complain. So all in all, you know, this is such a win. If I was to grade this figure or give it a rating, I would give it a 9.8 out of 10 because it's so much in this package, and at the price I got it for, I practically got this for free because the wrong thing was shipped to me when I ordered this. So they gave me my money back, and then they sent me the right, you know, item. So I got something that's hard to find that goes for over $100 on eBay for free. And they gave me $15 extra because they put me through the extra, you know, stress of waiting for this figure. I say stress lightly because it wasn't really stress. It was just annoying. But this was one of those come-ups that I'm really happy to, you know, have had happen. And if you come across this for a decent price, you know, $30, $40, even 50 is not bad. I would pick it up. I would definitely pick it up. So yeah, that's me geeking out for a good 20 minutes plus about this figure. I'm strident, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm glad you guys stayed with me to check this out, and I will catch you on the next video. Peace outside.